I'm Andrew with Mann, and today I'm here with Denise Bash from Greater Good Charities at the Pennsylvania Customer Appreciation Picnic. And we're so excited that Greater Good Charities is here with us today. We met through a bunch of relief work that you guys provided for hundreds of beekeepers after Hurricane Ian. And some of the numbers that you guys donated to these beekeepers in the time of need was staggering. I mean, Greater Good Charities donated over 550,000 pounds of liquid syrup, somewhere between 50 to 75,000 pounds of dry pollen substitute, because the forage was completely destroyed through Hurricane Ian. And just take me kind of through that response effort and what drove you guys to act in such a critical time.
It was the experience of a previous hurricane is what made it happen. Originally, we had done something similar in a much smaller scale in Hurricane Michael.
Okay.
And so the Florida Beekeeper Association knew us from that experience. And when this tragedy struck, they were there before it happened to let us know of their level of concern, and afterwards to really reiterate how much devastation there was. We quickly jumped into action because, much of our mission is in belief that if we work with groups of people, we can make a lot more impact together. Our partnerships only make us stronger, similar to what we have with you with Mann Lake, both supporting lower cost purchasing, donating, things like that. And once we understood how serious this problem was, both by talking to the beekeepers, the Department of Agriculture, et cetera, we jumped into action quickly so that we could start purchasing and developing a plan with those experts on how and where to deliver these supplies so that we could try to keep these bees fed emergently for a period of time until the beekeepers could get back on their feet and until transport of things were possible, because at that point the roads were an issue. So even getting supplies places and working with emergency management to make sure that there was a way to make sure that all the beekeepers got a fair shot at what was needed depending on their location was a big logistical move, and we couldn't have done it without the beekeepers themselves and the association and yourselves.
And Greater Good Charities had a mission to feed over 1 billion bees for a 30-day period, and they exceeded that for sure. And then after we started working together and getting to know more about the mission of Greater Good Charities, the work for beekeepers didn't stop for you guys. You guys, with the war in the Ukraine, and you guys carried the relief overseas. So tell me a little bit about that.
We started with humanitarian feeding, and then that built into feeding pets and medical care for pets. And then we quickly started to see other things like the beekeeping issues.
Yep.
Obviously, safety and things like that are much more of an issue with Ukraine than they are here in the United States. But by working with the organizations that we are there, we're finding incredible success. We're actually about to provide more support to that important industry by providing more feed, et cetera, for them as they go into their winter months,
Yep.
which are
Harsh winter.
harsh winters there.
Yep.
People don't have the same opportunities to run their business. Supply chains are messed up. People's living situations are difficult.
Sure.
So providing support to keep important industries stable, farming in general is a massive, agriculture is huge in Ukraine. So by protecting the pollinators, we're protecting the people, and we are protecting all the other animals.
Do you guys see beekeeping as a pillar, something that Greater Good Charities is going to, build upon? Do you see it as a foundational part of a program going forward? And, what is
So for our planet programs, yes. I think when we're looking at any particular animal that is in peril, we are interested, and we are supporting several species right now. We do all sorts of predator protection things where we'll buy land tracts to protect them. We do all sorts of flora and fauna identification programs. All over the world, we're protecting animals.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the bee is central to everything.
Yeah.
Because the bee is central to all of our survival. So yes, to your question, are we planning to expand and do other? We've done plantings, we've done things like that, but are we looking at ways to expand, provide education, more opportunities to inspire beekeeping, 100%.
Awesome.
Because the bees' peril is all of our peril.
Yeah.
So making sure that people truly understand it is the first step.
And if anyone wanted to learn more about the mission of Greater Good Charities,
They can go to greatergood.org.
okay.
Greatergood.org is where you will find about all of our programs and how they interact with one another. There's tons of blogs as well that you can look up, so you can kind of see what our activities are in the field and what our activities are for funding other organizations that are doing the work in the field when we're not.
That's awesome. Well, I know from so many beekeepers, we are all so thankful for all the work that Greater Good Charities has done and continues to do, and the awareness that they bring. So thank you.
Thank you, and thank Mann Lake for supporting our efforts.